"You know what, Rachel?" Alex Marquez said, his voice tight with frustration as he slammed his office phone down. "I can't do this anymore." Rachel Marquez, his wife, paused from her dinner prep, the sizzle of onions in the pan momentarily forgotten. She knew that tone. It was a storm cloud gathering in the corner office of their apartment. Alex's eyes met hers, a tempest brewing in their depths. "I quit," he announced, the words echoing through the kitchen. Rachel's heart skipped a beat. The spatula hovered over the pan. Rachel set down the spatula and approached him cautiously, her hands shaking slightly. "Alex, are you sure?" she asked, her voice a soft whisper in the suddenly tense air. She knew how much he'd given to the corporate world, the late nights and missed dinners, the constant pressure to perform. Yet, she also knew the risks of chasing a dream as elusive as music stardom. Alex nodded, his jaw set. "More than ever. I can't spend another minute crunching numbers for people who don't even appreciate the art in their spreadsheets." He took a deep breath, his eyes alight with a passion Rachel hadn't seen in years. "I need to do something that makes my soul sing." Rachel searched his gaze, the gravity of his words sinking in. She knew music had always been his first love, a secret symphony playing in the background of their life together. She had watched him play guitar in the quiet moments, the notes weaving a tapestry of longing and unfulfilled dreams. She swallowed hard, trying to find the right words to express her fears and her hopes. "What about us?" Rachel managed, her voice trembling. "What about our life?" Alex took her hand, his eyes filled with warmth. "This isn't just about me, it's about us. I want to create something beautiful that we can both be proud of." Rachel felt the weight of his conviction, her own fears giving way to a spark of excitement. Days turned into weeks as Alex poured his heart and soul into writing and playing music. He spent hours in their tiny apartment, the walls echoing with the sound of his guitar and the melodies of his youth. Rachel watched him, her heart torn between worry and admiration. The house was a flurry of sheet music and lyrics scribbled on napkins, and the sweet scent of ambition filled the air. One evening, as Rachel returned from a long day at her teaching job, she found Alex sitting in the living room, a new spark in his eyes. "I've written something," he said, holding out a crumpled piece of paper. "I think it's good." Rachel took it, her hands trembling with excitement. As she read the words, she felt the rhythm of his heart in every line. It was a declaration of their love and the journey they were about to embark on together. Inspired by the raw emotion in Alex's lyrics, Rachel decided to support his dream fully. They began to save, cutting back on luxuries, and Rachel even picked up a part-time job at a local cafe to help fund his newfound passion. Alex, meanwhile, scoured the city for gigs, playing open mics and street corners, his voice and guitar weaving a spell that drew in a motley crew of music enthusiasts. Among them was Mia Castellanos, a vibrant singer-songwriter with a fiery spirit and a hauntingly beautiful voice. Their paths collided one fateful night at a dimly lit jazz bar. Alex had just finished a soulful set when Mia approached the stage. "You've got something special," she said, her eyes gleaming. "I'd love to jam with you sometime." Alex felt an immediate connection, not just musically, but something deeper, a kindred spirit lost in the same quest for authenticity. Rachel watched from the sidelines, her heart swelling with pride and a hint of jealousy as Mia and Alex shared a laugh. Their first jam session was electric. The chemistry between them was undeniable, a fusion of raw talent and shared aspirations. Rachel could see the wheels turning in Alex's head as he played alongside Mia, and she knew this was the catalyst he needed to propel his dreams forward. With Rachel's blessing, they began to write music together, crafting songs that spoke of love, loss, and the relentless pursuit of happiness. Leo James, a grizzled guitarist with a penchant for leather jackets and a storied past, was the next to join their ranks. His cynical humor and seasoned chords brought a new dimension to their sound, grounding their idealism in the gritty reality of the music world. Then came Zoe Kim, a classically trained violinist with a flair for electronica, and Marcus Castellanos, Mia's younger brother, whose passionate drumming set the pulse for their eclectic band. The five of them clicked like the cogs of a finely tuned machine, their diverse backgrounds melding into a sound that was uniquely theirs. They named themselves the Melodic Odyssey, a nod to the journey they were about to undertake. Rachel, ever the supportive wife, became their manager, juggling her own aspirations with the demands of their burgeoning band. Together, they faced the grind of the music scene, playing to empty bars and disinterested crowds. But with each set, they grew tighter, their music speaking a universal language that resonated with those who listened. It was at one of these early gigs that they caught the attention of Samir Patel, a quirky music producer with a penchant for finding diamonds in the rough. Intrigued by their sound, he offered to help them record a demo. Rachel's eyes widened with excitement as Alex nodded, unable to contain his own. It was their first real step into the industry, a foot in the door that could lead to untold opportunities. In the studio, Samir's eccentricities were matched only by his talent. He pushed them to their limits, coaxing out notes and harmonies they didn't know they had. The days were long and exhausting, but the nights were filled with a sense of camaraderie that made it all worthwhile. They worked tirelessly, crafting a sound that was a fusion of their individual styles and stories. The demo was a raw, honest reflection of their collective soul, and it didn't take long for it to make waves in the industry. Buzz grew around the Melodic Odyssey, and soon enough, they were playing to packed venues, the energy of the crowds fueling their every chord and lyric. Rachel managed their gigs with the precision of a seasoned pro, her organizational skills and passion for their music keeping the band on track amidst the chaos. Marcus's drumming grew more intense with each performance, his hands moving in a blur as he kept time with the heartbeat of the city. Zoe's violin sang in harmony with Mia's smoky voice, while Leo's guitar riffs painted vivid images of their tumultuous journey. And at the center of it all, Alex's guitar played the story of their odyssey, each string resonating with the hopes and fears they'd brought with them on this wild ride. The band's authenticity and chemistry were undeniable. They became the talk of the town, the underdogs with a sound that could shake the very foundation of the industry. Their music was a tapestry of love, pain, and the unyielding pursuit of dreams, striking a chord with listeners who craved something real. Rachel watched from the wings, her heart swelling with pride, as the audience sang along to the very words she had first heard in their cramped apartment. But the path to success was fraught with obstacles. The music industry was a minefield of shady deals and broken promises, and they soon faced the harsh realities of their chosen path. The allure of a major record label grew stronger, the siren song of fame and fortune whispering sweet nothings in their ears. Samir, ever the mentor, warned them of the traps that awaited those who weren't careful, who didn't hold on to their integrity. As they approached the pinnacle of their success, a record deal was dangled before them, the glittering prize at the end of the rainbow. But the fine print told a different story. The label demanded control over their music, a sacrifice that would strip their sound of its very essence. Alex felt the weight of the decision, his heart torn between the safety net of a lucrative deal and the raw, unfiltered art they had created together. The band gathered in a heated debate, emotions running high. Leo's cynical edge cut through the air as he spoke of the industry's greed, while Mia's passionate pleas for artistic freedom echoed in the room. Rachel, ever the voice of reason, reminded them of why they had started this journey in the first place. They were a band of dreamers, chasing a melody that was theirs alone. Alex knew what he had to do. With a heavy heart, he turned down the record deal, choosing to walk away from the glitz and glamour to keep the soul of the melodic odyssey intact. Rachel stood by him, her hand in his, her eyes reflecting the fire that burned within him. They would do this their way or not at all. The band's refusal to compromise became their anthem, their story a beacon for those who dared to dream outside the lines. Their fan base grew, drawn to their authenticity, their courage to stay true to themselves. It was a gamble that paid off as they began to land gigs at larger venues and earn the respect of their peers. Yet, the cost of freedom was steep, and the financial strain began to take its toll. Leo's apartment doubled as their rehearsal space, its walls adorned with posters of their heroes, now peeling and stained with the sweat of countless practices. They hustled, playing every gig they could get, sleeping in vans, and living off instant noodles and adrenaline. Rachel worked tirelessly, her teaching salary supplementing their income, her love for Alex the wind beneath their wings. The season ended on a bittersweet note, the band standing at a crossroads. Their music had touched lives, their story had inspired, but the future remained uncertain. Rachel and Alex sat in their now silent apartment, the echoes of their dreams hanging in the air. They had come so far, but the journey ahead was fraught with peril, and the cost of staying true to their art was higher than they had ever imagined. Yet, as they looked into each other's eyes, they knew that this was just the beginning of their melodic odyssey. The months that followed were a whirlwind of gigs, late-night jams, and endless discussions about their sound. They honed their craft, their music evolving with each shared experience. Rachel, ever the rock, managed the chaos with a grace that belied her fears. She knew that their path was fraught with danger, but she also knew that this was where Alex truly belonged. Mia, with her fiery spirit and unyielding belief in their music, became the band's moral compass, her voice a siren call that kept them from straying too far from their roots. Marcus, the youngest and most passionate, brought a raw energy to their performances that was palpable, his drumming a declaration of war against the status quo. Zoe's innovative soundscapes grew more complex, her music speaking in tongues that danced with Alex's melodies. And Leo, the veteran of the group, his eyes reflecting a lifetime of music battles, offered a steady hand and a dose of reality to balance their idealism. Together, they played with a fervor that could not be contained. Their music grew bolder, more defiant, each note a declaration of their refusal to conform. The crowds grew larger, their fan base more devoted, and slowly but surely the melodic odyssey began to build a name for themselves. Yet, with every step forward, they faced 2 steps back. Venues closed, tours fell through, and the weight of their decision grew heavier. One evening, as Rachel counted the last of their savings, a message from Samir buzzed on her phone. "I found a place," it read, "a venue that believes in what you're doing. Play there, and you might just get noticed." Rachel's heart leapt. This could be their chance, the moment that would catapult them to the next level. The venue was a grungy club in the heart of the city, walls plastered with stickers and posters of past performances. It was a place that breathed music, a sanctuary for those who dared to dream. Alex, Mia, Leo, Zoe, and Marcus took the stage, their hearts pounding in unison with the anticipation of what lay ahead. Rachel watched from the side, her nails digging into her palms, her eyes never leaving her husband. The crowd was small but rapt, hanging on every word, every note. As they played, something shifted in the air, a palpable energy that grew with each song. Rachel felt it. The band felt it. They were on the cusp of something great. And when the final chord of their set rang out, the room erupted in applause, the sound echoing through their bones. In the aftermath, as they packed up their gear, a man in a sharp suit approached them, his eyes gleaming with interest. He was a talent scout for a different kind of label, one that valued artistry over commercial appeal. He offered them a chance to record an album on their terms. Rachel and Alex exchanged a look, the same spark that had ignited their journey now burning brighter than ever. Their hearts racing, they stepped into the next chapter of their melodic odyssey, unsure of where the road would lead, but certain that their music was their true north. They had faced the tempest and emerged stronger, their bonds unbroken, their vision clearer. And as they climbed into their van, ready to face whatever lay ahead, they knew that their love for each other and their music was the compass that would guide them through the storms to come. The recording sessions were a revelation. Free from the constraints of the corporate machine, they experimented, pushed boundaries, and let their souls spill onto the tracks. The studio became their sanctuary, the microphones their confidants. They bled their emotions into every lyric, every riff, every beat. Rachel watched from the control booth, her eyes shining with pride as she managed the business end of their new venture, her heart swelling with every harmony. The album was a masterpiece, a raw and beautiful testament to their resilience. It was a love letter to their fans, to their dreams, and to the music that had brought them together. The release date grew nearer, the excitement building like a crescendo. They held their collective breath, waiting for the world to hear their story, hoping it would resonate as deeply with others as it did with them. The night of the album drop was a blur of flashing lights and screaming fans. Rachel stood backstage, her hand pressed to her chest, feeling the thunderous applause resonate through her very being. As they took the stage, Rachel saw the transformation in Alex's eyes. The doubt and fear had been replaced by a fierce determination. This was their moment, the culmination of years of struggle and sacrifice. The first notes of their opening song filled the air, and the crowd roared in approval. The melodic odyssey played as if their lives depended on it, each member feeding off the energy of the others. The music swelled, a symphony of hope and rebellion that seemed to lift them higher and higher. As the final chord echoed through the venue, Rachel knew that no matter what the future held, this was where they were meant to be. Together, they had turned their dreams into a reality that was theirs alone. And as the curtain fell, they stepped into the next act of their journey, hand in hand, ready to conquer whatever the music world had in store for them. The months that followed were a blur of successes and setbacks. Their independent album garnered critical acclaim and a devoted following, but the financial pressures of staying true to their artistry were ever present. Rachel juggled the band's finances with a fierce determination, making sure every dollar was accounted for. Alex, Mia, Leo, Zoe, and Marcus threw themselves into writing new music, eager to build on their momentum. Their days were filled with interviews, photo shoots, and late-night jam sessions, each moment a testament to their unshakable bond. But with every victory, there were whispers of doubt. Old friends from their corporate lives reached out, reminding them of the stability they had left behind. Rachel felt the weight of their expectations, the fear that they had made the wrong choice. Yet, every time she watched Alex on stage, she knew that this was where he truly lived, his soul alight with the fire of his music. The band grew closer, their shared experiences forging a bond that was unbreakable. They laughed, they fought, they celebrated, and they mourned together. They became a family, bound by the music that flowed through their veins. And as the music industry took notice of their unconventional rise, they faced new challenges. Offers of tours and collaborations came in, each one a potential ladder to greater heights, but also a test of their integrity. They turned down opportunities that didn't align with their vision, holding firm to the promise they had made to each other and to their music. Their music grew bolder, the lyrics speaking of the trials they had faced and the strength they had found within. Rachel watched from the sidelines, her heart swelling with pride as she realized that their odyssey was about more than just success. It was about staying true to themselves. As they played to ever-growing crowds, the music transcended the stage, speaking to the hearts of those who had dared to dream and those who had felt the sting of doubt. One night, as they wrapped up yet another sold-out show, Rachel felt a hand on her shoulder. She turned to find Mia, her eyes shimmering with tears. "Thank you," she said, her voice thick with emotion, "for believing in us, for fighting for us." Rachel hugged her tightly, understanding the depth of her gratitude. It wasn't just about the music anymore. It was about the community they had created, the lives they had touched. The Melodic Odyssey had become more than just a band. They were a movement, a beacon of hope for those who dared to chase their dreams. Rachel knew that the path ahead was still fraught with challenges, but she also knew that they had each other, and that was all they needed. With the love of their fans and the fire of their convictions, they would continue to navigate the stormy seas of the music industry, their compass set firmly on the horizon of their aspirations. Their story was one of passion and perseverance, of love and sacrifice. It was a tale that had just begun to unfold, each page revealing a new chapter in their quest for authenticity. Rachel looked at her husband, her heart full, knowing that their melodic odyssey was a journey they would take together, come what may. And as the crowd called for an encore, Alex took her hand, and together they stepped into the spotlight, ready to face whatever the future had in store. For in the end, it wasn't about the destination. It was about the music that made their hearts sing, the love that fueled their souls, and the unshakable belief that they were exactly where they were meant to be. The next few months were a roller coaster of highs and lows. The band's popularity grew, their music a balm to the weary souls who found solace in their lyrics. Yet, with each victory, the stakes grew higher, the pressure to conform more intense. Rachel felt the strain, her once steady world now a whirlwind of late-night meetings and endless planning. But she never wavered, her love for Alex and their shared dream a beacon that guided her through the chaos.